You don't need skill. You just need scale.
Yeah, there you go. Scale,
Fucking
not
bumper
skill.
sticker.
Yeah, exactly.
Scale, not skill.
That is a podcast episode title. All right, welcome back to Waiting to Dry, everybody. Podcast that we're saving from the brink of extinction here. Yeah, I guess there's a reason that we didn't record for a month that we'll probably get into. But yeah, I'm Sergio Lopez.
I'm Josh Lawyer.
And yeah, so it's a bit of a change from last time we recorded, I feel like.
Yeah, the world slowed down a little bit, I think.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, which is good news to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, we haven't recorded in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Good times.
Yeah. See if we still remember how.
Yeah. Last episode was a doozy, at least for us. I know we had a mini set after that.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, there was definitely some tension built after that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, we talked it out.
Yeah.
Hug it out, bitch.
Yeah.
And we're back on track.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see where it goes from here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's plenty of talking about that shit. I don't want.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, how you been?
Been pretty good.
Yeah.
Went out of town recently. Vanessa's birthday was a couple weeks ago, so
Happy
we went
birthday.
out to the yeah. So yeah, we went out to the Eastern Sierras, did some camping, first time in about a year or so.
Nice.
So that was fun. That was fun. Other than there's there were a couple of nights where the wind was super strong. So yeah, we had to like basically tie everything down and make sure we didn't get blown away into the lake there. But yeah, like there was a night where we just were like, nah, we're giving up. We're going to Reno to stay at a cheap casino hotel instead.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it got that bad.
Really?
Yeah.
The weather seems so like pretty chill for the last, like, if anything, I would think it would be just extremely hot.
Yeah, like out in the mountains, it's different though. You get those weird like gusts of like mountain storms and shit like that.
That
so
makes sense.
Yeah.
Everything gets funneled through them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
But it ended up being all right. Like we were both at that point super exhausted because it was pretty much impossible to sleep through the night there. So we were looking forward to a stay in an actual bed.
For sure.
Yeah.
Camping's one of those weird things. I feel like for the most part it's exhausting, but it has a weird ability to potentially be like relaxing.
Right, yeah.
But you have to be like, okay. Yeah, it's like you have to get good at it for it to be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's true. It does take some adjustment to get into it.
Yeah. I'm talking about camping too. I'm about to buy a van. So,
oh, shit, yeah.
So hopefully I'll get okay at it so MJ can do it more. She doesn't like it at all. I'm like, I don't mind it, but I can sleep like through anything, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
For her, it's like uncomfortable.
Yeah, I could see that. Has she gone camping much? Probably not.
I don't think so, no. And it's one of those things too where I explained to her, I'm like, we just have to get good at it, and then you're good at it. Then it's nice.
Yeah. It's like everything. It's like weirdly you kind of have to practice at it to get good at it.
But then you can go full circle like the fucking Naked and Afraid people, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's like it's not comfortable anymore. Like you guys are hating your life, but then I don't know, they probably love that shit too. So
yeah. Well, when it becomes survival, that's not fun.
No, when you're not like cooking hot dogs over a campfire,
right?
And you know, figuring out how to charge your phone somehow or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you're like naked and
afraid.
You know, the food of mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Seems like a horrible fucking life.
Oh, God, yeah.
But yeah. Yeah. Well, that's cool. So what else did you guys do?
We painted here and there. Not as much as I probably would have wanted you, but yeah, we just did a bunch of fun things out there. We went out to like Mammoth Lakes and did some sightseeing and all that kind of thing. So
is Mammoth Lake based around like the woolly mammoth, or just the fact that it's large or something?
That's actually, I'm not totally sure.
I don't go to a lake unless I know why it's been named that, Sergio.
Yeah. Well, there's a lake called Sardine Lake that's not named for sardines. It's named after a mule, the person who discovered it. For the white folk, yeah, his mule was named Sardine. So yeah,
really?
There's a fun fact for you guys.
That's one lake. Nice. That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, you feel free to go there now.
Well, that's my next stop right after we finish recording, and I've got a lake I can go to.
Take that van out there, yeah. What's your plans with that van? Is it using like mostly as a painting transport van? Or?
Yeah, like because we're doing mural stuff now, so
sure.
It becomes a pain in the ass to try to like shove shit into MJ's like brand new 2020 Honda Accord.
Sure,
and
yeah.
Like, we're gonna fuck this car up doing that. So, and my Buick LeSabre 19, like I don't know, I think it's 1991 or 1989. It's one of those two.
Is it still going strong?
It's still going strong. I mean, I think it's like 75,000 miles on it.
Oh, okay.
Like
that's good for.
I'm hoping to get like another 100,000 out of it. To be honest.
Damn.
But that's just, it's not reliable though. Like the transmission is a bit slippery on it.
Oh, okay.
So
what does that mean exactly?
It just changing gears from like first to second and third and fourth. It like has some issues. So
okay.
It'll like, it's almost like I have to like do some sorcery for like with the gas pedal to like get it to the next thingy, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, but pretty much I can only drive it, and and that's that. I mean, it passes smog like without a fucking hiccup. They're always like,
That's
"Holy
good.
shit, this car is clean." I'm like, "Thank you." But yeah.
Is there anything special you have to do to make it pass smog like that, or is it just really reliable?
It's just really reliable.
Nice.
But yeah, so we figured we'd get the van. I've been talking about getting a van for a long time.
Yeah, you have. Mm-hmm.
So with the muraling thing, we're like, all right, we should probably really focus on like maybe trying to get one of those.
Mm-hmm.
So plus it's like I want to go like if I go mural in like Texas or something, it would be cool to like do a road trip there and back, and then be able to sleep in the van.
Okay, so you want to like be able to make it like a kind of a camper van?
Yeah, like a camper work van at the same time, so that I can we can live cheap while doing it, and just being able to transport all of our equipment without having to figure out that whole like, all right, if we fly to Texas, what equipment do we need to rent there or buy there or whatever?
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so it makes it just kind of easier. We can bring a ladder with us, which might save some money, somewhere.
Right.
Instead of trying to figure out that whole thing. So yeah, there's like a bunch of reasons to do it.
Yeah. The type of van, is it like a cargo van, like a Sprinter type?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm supposed to buy it tomorrow, so I think if it happens, fingers crossed, I got to try to wheel and deal, you know what I mean?
I see. Yeah.
I can afford it. It's like if I could knock off some money, that'd be great.
Yeah. Got to save some scratch, kid.
Exactly. But yeah. Yeah, that's that.
Nice. So that's like the next big thing for you, huh?
Yeah, our next big, hopefully, I think we've had like a list of like big like purchases that we need to do. And this was like before we become full-time artists, we want to get these things so that when we do, it makes it a bit easier to like do what our plans are. So it's a bit late, but we're getting it knocked. I never thought I was actually going to get this knocked off the list or like... or end up buying like a like a version of like my car, like a 1989 van that's like.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I was like, maybe, but yeah, we're going much better out this time.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
That's just out of like savings from the old place, or?
Yeah.
Well, that's something I'm curious about. Like, how financially has it been different for you in the last month or so since you changed?
It's been great.
Really?
I mean, we're definitely probably not making as much money as we were.
I mean, it's amazing that you're even like close to it if you are.
Yeah, but we've been doing. Holy shit! I don't know if we're gonna pick that up.
Probably.
That sounds like a military helicopter. That was easy to say. But yeah, we're doing like really good actually so far this year, and
That's awesome.
You know, we might get some slowing down soon because we have mural work pretty much. We have 3 more jobs lined up after the one we're working on now.
Okay.
And
Local or?
Yes, all local.
That's good.
What the fuck is going on? Holy shit, are they... Is that a cop car?
It sounded like it.
God damn it. I hope it's not one... Because I feel like we always get a helicopter. Like, whenever they're... I don't know. Motherfuckers are always getting chased around. It's annoying as shit.
I remember a few months ago, there was like some... like just down the road from you guys, somebody who had like... who'd gotten... I guess he was being chased for a while because he committed murder.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
And there's across the train tracks, there's like this little dilapidated
Oh,
shed.
yes. He murdered someone?
I thought that's what it was.
I know there was a guy walking around with a shotgun. I remember hearing that. I forget.
Oh, maybe he didn't. I just thought that it was just like... I thought there were... Yeah.
I know for sure he shot at people.
Uh-huh.
But I don't remember if he killed anyone.
I thought he did.
Maybe he did. I can't remember, to be honest. I just
Yeah.
remember, like, it was funny because me and MJ, we drove by it and we're like, whoa, it looks like something's going on over there.
Right, yeah.
And, and then, like, later on, it was like, oh, it was a crazy man with a shotgun. I was like, holy fuck. God damn it. Like, but yeah, that was very close to us.
Yeah.
It's always some weird shit. They did it once at... whatever. What the fuck were we talking about?
Oh, just like financially how you're doing?
Oh yeah, good. Yeah. So I think we have like after this mural, we have like another 2 that's supposed to be like around $6,000 worth of work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right, $6,000. That's like, you know, like 3 months of mortgage. So you're like, all right, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So like we can make 3 more months of living.
Yeah.
At least in a house.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we have other bills, but we just keep, and hopefully we'll set up some more. And we have some commission work that we have set up and some design work MJ's picked up recently.
Oh, really?
So now she's a designer, which means that I'm a designer because what ends up happening is that rolls over to somehow involving me in her shit. But yeah, it's been really good so far, actually. I mean, obviously, we're still like, you know, like we're worried.
Yeah, of course.
At the same time, we're like super excited and like, I don't know. I mean, I'm like, I'm really excited and happy. So yeah. It's just grinding, and we got the website up and running, and that's been like really good.
Mm-hmm.
I did like a little run of prints and sold that out, which was awesome.
How long did that take to sell out?
I think it took like 18 hours.
Damn.
I posted it really late because I'm an idiot, and so I like went to bed and then woke up and I was like, oh, cool, they're all gone.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that was great. And
So you slept for 18 hours.
well, it's like I probably slept for like 8, and then maybe I didn't. I don't know. I can't remember. I just remember being like, I think I had like 6 more before I had to go to bed. I was like, oh, maybe I'll sell 6 by the time I wake up, and then the 6 sold. But that's like one of those interesting things once you start kind of doing the math about prints that I've realized recently was like after kind of thinking about the math of it, you go, okay, like, so right now I sold like 25 prints for $45, right? And I don't know the math behind it, but it's like whatever it is, but then
somewhere in the range of like 800 or so, I want to say.
No, it's like
more?
1,400.
Oh, really? Oh, shit. Wait,
let me do the math. Maybe I'm wrong. So 45 times
you're right.
25 equals 1,100.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but then say like if I then, okay, so 1,100, right? And my idea in my head is like to figure out how to sell prints 4 times a year. That's kind of what I've been thinking. And then to hopefully get to about $100 per print, and then hopefully sell 100 prints.
Yeah.
So that would end up being $10,000 per run. So if you do $10,000 per run, which doesn't seem like that much to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's like harder to get there than I think. But it's like if you could sell out a run of 100 prints for $100, and then you did that 4 times a year, that's $40,000. That's a good chunk of like a yearly wage in prints. And you're like, oh wow, like I don't know, like there's something about like I knew there's money in prints, but it's like thinking about it, like it doesn't seem that outlandish to sell 100 prints for $100. And maybe it is, maybe I'm wrong about this, but it's like if you can do that 4 times a year, then like that's a big chunk of the money you can get. And then this goes back to like diversifying your like art career of like, if you can do that, and then you can make like, let's say, even if you do like 12,000 in, I don't know, in mural work, and then, so now you're at 52,000, and then you're like, all right, if I can sell like maybe $10,000 in paintings, which would be like, I don't think that's outlandish of a number. All right, now you're at like 60,000, and then it's like I've been doing these little drawings, and it's like if I sell each drawing for like 150, and I do 1 a week, then that's 600, which makes it like a 6,000, let's say, in drawings a year. So you end up making like $70,000 in a year. Like me personally,
right?
That's why I try to cut the number down for the muraling, because I feel like me and MJ have to like split that. So it ends up being like $70,000 a year. You can very easily live off of that amount of money.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not the easiest thing in California. But
you guys like own your house here.
Yeah, that's the benefit. For sure. I mean, the real big move would be like if we could potentially find somewhere we would be willing to move where we could sell this house and buy a house for like way less and potentially have a tiny mortgage or like no mortgage at all kind of. Then all of a sudden now like you're like really like being able to push.
Like out of this area, or
yeah, it would have to be out of it. I mean, it would probably have to be out of state.
That would be my guess too.
Yeah, but I just don't know where the fuck I would ever move. I don't even know this country that well, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, at some point, hopefully we could figure out if that's an option or not. I mean, it's not the biggest deal. I don't mind living in California. I really very much like it. So
sure. I mean, you have lived in different areas outside of California, haven't you? Or I mean, not really though.
No. God damn! What the fuck? Should I go out there and yell at the kids? You fucking kids, shut the fuck up!
Good podcast content.
The old man routine.
Yeah.
God damn. We're just getting bombarded by noise. The world is opening up. But yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it's been a really good year so far for us. It's just, we're just trying to figure out how to, like, keep that momentum and just working hard as shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know? At least I am. MJ hasn't been doing shit. I had to, like, actually, like, get on her case the other day because she really hasn't been painting at all. Other than the mural, she hasn't been doing much at all. And I'm like, hey, we have an art show. You need to paint. Like, you need to do what, like, we're full-time arting it right now. Like,
Right.
Like, do you hate this? Do you want a job?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of get that, like, just like, oh, the freedom of not having to go to work. But yes, soon enough, the reality sets in, like, oh, my bank account isn't where I want to be anymore.
Right. I mean, I don't even want to get to that point. I just want to be like, I just don't want to get to the point where it's like where you just regret not taking advantage of this moment.
For sure.
The thing I keep thinking is like, if we fail, I mean, we can always go get a job, but it's like, you'll look back with regret as like, God, I like really blew that fucking opportunity that presented itself.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So in my head, that's like fuel in the fucking tank, but for MJ, she's just like doo-doo-dee, doo-doo, doo-doo-dee.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm gonna go hang out and stuff. And I'm like, good for you. I'll just stay home and like work my 10-hour days I've been doing. So yeah.
So that's been pretty much your life recently, huh? Just working here.
Yeah. Yeah. I just stay home and try to like be as productive as possible, which I'm really happy doing. Like, it's not like pulling teeth or anything.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm like, it's just really fun for me, to be honest. Like, if I could work longer, I would. Like, if the days were just, 10 hours longer, I would work 10 hours more.
Damn.
But yeah, that was the interesting thing with the working on the mural stuff. Is like realizing that like you can get over the hurdle of kind of like that painter's like, like painting 8 hours a day is like ridiculous. Like after doing the mural stuff, I'm like, oh, it's totally doable. You just have to like tell yourself to do it. And then all of a sudden you're just doing it. Like, it's like, I don't know. There's something, I don't know. And maybe it's because I've like, if you paint for like 4 hours a day, like every day, that's still like working out that like brain muscle. So maybe it wasn't that hard of a jump, but it just seems like it wasn't that hard to get to like a long like version of painting daily.
Okay. Is muraling more of a physically demanding thing?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. I figured, but yeah.
It's exhausting.
Wasn't sure what the difference was.
Well, just like, to climb up like machines and ladders every time you want to like work on a part of your painting. It's like,
that's true. Yeah.
It's like that alone is like nothing near, or painting for the most part isn't anything near like that. So you're just, and it's like doing that for whatever. And then, you're always like pushing how far you can reach. Like if I'm on a ladder, I'm always going to be reaching higher than if I'm on a painting. And it's just like that, doing that like 10, 12 hours a day, it's just way more, physically demanding. And just standing on your feet is a thing. I mean, but, standing on your feet, you're doing that in your studio anyways. So, I don't know. That's not any different.
Just for longer, huh? Yeah.
But I mean, plein air is, you guys got to hike and shit.
Yeah. There's a lot of standing on your feet there too. It gets exhausting too. Like in a weird way, it's easier for me to like keep walking than just stand in place.
100%. Yeah. Standing in place, especially like when you've hit like, there's like a certain point, like once you're done, you're like, I don't want to, like my fucking body is so mad that I'm standing here.
Yeah, I feel like it's really bad for your hips too.
Yeah, yeah. My feet. I have plantar fasciitis, and that shit just
Oh, no.
when it like kicks in,
Mm-hmm.
like when my body's like, your feet are in pain.
Uh-huh.
It's just like, God, this is fucking miserable.
Do you just work through it, or you gotta stop?
I do a lot of stretches. Like I found that like stretching your calves is like huge for that. So I do like a ton of calf stretches and stretch. Like I just at the mural, it's like every lunchtime right before I get back to work, stretch. I take a break. I stretch. It's just trying to make sure to fucking do all that shit before you get to like the horrible like pain of standing still.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like, it's fairly recently that I've tried to like make a regular practice of stretching and yoga and all that, and like it made so much of a difference. Like, I don't know, I just wasn't like giving myself the opportunity to.
Is that why you go by Moonchild now?
Yeah, exactly. My chakras are much more aligned now. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot because Vanessa kept nagging me about it, but like for good reason. Because I was put out for like I'd say a good portion of January because like I didn't stretch enough, and like the couch at the studio is awful for your back too. And so like that was like the beginning of it being really bad, and then now that I've been doing it more often, that happens way less often now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because it works.
Yeah.
It's like so easy. Like you fucking yoga fucks, and then you do it. And you're like, oh yeah, that shit works.
Right. And it's not even you have to do it that long. It's like half hour a day. It's been enough for me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but it's just so it's one of those things where it's because of who it's attached to that you dismiss it so easily. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
You're like, okay, like you also eat like dandelions for breakfast, so like leave me alone.
Yeah, I've looked for like the most on YouTube, like the most minimal of that stuff to like for like to guide you through the the things. Just like, it's like when found some channels that aren't nearly as bad, but then other ones that are just straight up like half the channel is dedicated to like what crystals or whatever you need.
Exactly. Or like what's it called when you like tan your butthole? Do you know about that?
What is that?
It's like a new thing. At least it's new to me.
Yeah. I'd say it's new to a lot of listeners right now too.
You gotta tan your butt. You gotta let the sun touch your butthole every day for 30 minutes.
Does that have anything to do with the breatharians?
What's that?
The people who claim that you just need like the air to live off the air.
Those fucks. I love when people disprove people like that. You know what I mean? When they're like, I just live off of the sun. And they're like, all right, well, we're going to monitor you every day and watch you. And they're like shriveled up and dying within like 10 days. And they're like, something's wrong. I don't know why it's not working. Like, probably because you eat, you fucking idiot.
I'm not fully committed yet. That's the problem. Yeah.
They're like, I haven't eaten for 30 years and I'm great. And then all of a sudden the week they want to test them, they're like, the magnets of your cameras
exactly.
are influencing my... Okay.
Right, yeah.
Fucking people. There's so many crazes in the world. God. But yeah, what have you been painting?
Let's see. Still doing a lot of plein air stuff. Still doing the paint drips and all that. Still painting food. Yeah. Yeah. It's just kind of. Well, I also just finished up a couple of big paintings. I did a big landscape, or not landscape, is more of a boat scene that I took to the gallery. Then I finished a giant painting of Vanessa in the mustard fields too. So those things I ended up submitting to a couple of art competitions. So we'll see how that goes.
For sure.
We'll see if that actually does anything for me. But I've found that like doing art competitions is probably the most like bang for your buck in terms of advertising yourself if you're going to go like the pay route. I mean, it all depends on like if the painting is.
Oh, because you have to pay to get into the competition?
Right,
I see,
yeah. But like, I figure if the painting doesn't make it into a competition like that, like it doesn't place, then it probably wasn't going to do much for me in that regard anyway.
What do you mean?
Like, if that painting, like it would have been just as good to not advertise it than to put it into a thing and not have it place high.
What do you mean by
like,
advertise it? Like put it in like a magazine? Is that what you mean by advertise?
Yeah, or like just like doing like running an Instagram ad or something, for example. And it's like I just feel like there's a bit of, I guess, social proof that happens when you win an award like that.
Huh. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with. I don't agree with that. But I mean, I'm sure there's. Okay, so, I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Only because I don't know. I don't know. Like, especially for Instagram or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like a panel of art judges are gonna judge it based on something very different than what like the majority of Instagram are going to judge your painting on. Like, I feel like they're going to judge them on two very different planes.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can be very unsuccessful, I would assume, in the competition market of art, and probably be very successful in the Instagram market, I would assume. I mean, I would assume that a lot of the very successful artists in Instagram wouldn't place in a competition.
Probably not, but that's like when I enter a competition like that, I'm not like necessarily trying to cater to the Instagram crowd necessarily.
Right.
Like the paintings, those big paintings just don't read well on Instagram at all. Like the painting especially the boat scene that I did is a 24 by 48 painting, but when you reduce it down, like it's a horizontal as well. So
no, what I mean is I only mentioned Instagram because it's like I was trying to figure out what you meant by advertisement. And I was like, so when you said Instagram, I was like, I don't know if that's
I guess I mean advertising outside of my own following, like putting that ad on Instagram.
Have you done that before?
I did a long time ago, but
did you get any success from it?
No, but from what I understand, like there's an algorithm that goes into advertising too.
Right.
So like the more people who like your ad, the more like it, like the cost per like showing people goes down. So like if it's an ad that people don't like, then people don't hit the hard button or whatever, and it brings it into other people's feeds a lot less. So you end up having to pay more to get the same amount of people to look at it. So what I think people like the misconception when it comes to advertising on Instagram is that like it's like a one-to-one sort of thing. Like you show it to the people and then people come to you, where it's more like it has to build up a following, kind of like just like when you do organic reach.
Right. Well, that's, I don't know, in a way that seems
well, yeah, it's like it makes it a kind of a scheme too, where you have to keep paying into it.
It also makes it a thing where it's like, so it's just like my regular post. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
It's like, so why don't I just post it then?
Yeah. Well, that's why I don't really do them.
Right. Yeah, I think I tried it once. I want to say, at least, I don't think I tried it twice. I think I tried it once, like very like I think right around the time it started, just to kind of see if there's any kind of moving of a needle. and it was like none at all.
Mhm.
But the thing I thought was interesting was, at least when I did it, it was like it doesn't charge you unless like someone like comes to your page or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah.
So it ended up being like I spent like $1 or something like that. It was
Yeah.
something ridiculously cheap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thanks for like 3 people. Like,
Yeah.
I'll never do that again. Like,
Right.
yeah, that was I think that's the only time I've ever paid to like try to get followers. And I was like, I'm never going to do that again.
Did you go into it thinking though that it wasn't going to do much for you?
Well, I thought like, my thought was like, I assume Instagram has like some way of like showing my art to people who are into art.
Mhm.
And then like maybe that'll get me like legitimate art likers or lovers or
Right.
or orgiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it ended up like not being. I mean, I'm sure they've probably gotten better at it, but it's just like at this point, it's like I'm fine. Like I don't.
When I did
care
it
much.
though, you had to do it through Facebook. So
Oh,
it was
really?
using all the different like Facebook metrics to
I heard
to do it.
Facebook is great for that. That's what I've heard a bunch is like, oh, the Facebook paying for advertisement on Facebook is like really like it makes sense because it really pays for itself. That's what I heard, but I've never on Facebook and I
Right.
don't even care.
I've advertised. Yeah, I have done more advertising on Facebook back in the day, and it did actually help me get a lot of followers to my Facebook pages back then. But it's like organic reach on there is so low these days that I'm like, I don't really get much out of Facebook anymore at all anyway. So
It's always crazy, like because I just automatically add to like my whatever I post on Instagram. I just automatically add to Facebook, and it's not like I have like a huge group of people who I think it's called like you like a page, right?
yeah, the business pages.
Yeah, but it's always weird when I'll randomly go and check it out, and there's always like a couple comments, and I feel like there's always someone that's like, "How much for like a commission?" or "How much for this?"
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Those are the comments I get. I'm like, am I supposed to be on here more often? Because like, I feel like for the little bit of commenting I get, it's always people trying to like purchase shit.
Oh, really?
It's
Wow.
like maybe I should be fucking thinking about Facebook differently.
Maybe. I don't know. Because I don't get those kinds of comments.
On
for sure.
Facebook?
No. I mean, I get very little interaction on Facebook anymore anyway, unless it's to my actual personal page, which is weird because it's like they want you to use the business pages and advertise on there. But it's like, well, if I'm not even getting much out of my own like organic reach, like,
Right.
I don't know. It
The
seems
business pages suck too, because like it's so hard to find like a message.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but like,
yeah.
I'll randomly realize like, oh, there's something I haven't seen. Like there's a message somewhere.
Yeah.
And I have to figure out how to get there. I'm like, oh, it's my business page. It's like, why do they make it so hard to see these things? And then it's like,
They're a mess now. Like they used
Yeah.
to be way more simple, but now they just try to add too much shit and it makes it hard to find
I
anything on it.
know. They're doing the same shit to Instagram, those fucking idiots. Well, I might lose TikTok soon, so.
What do you mean?
You didn't hear about that?
Losing TikTok?
But like TikTok might get like banned from America.
Oh, really? Because of all the like privacy stuff?
Because China it's like a China-run business. So,
Yeah.
they're like the data they're collecting. I'm like, whatever. Facebook collecting all my fucking data too. It's like,
Right.
to be honest, I mean, I understand it to a point. Like I think they don't allow military to have TikTok. And I'm like, I guess I mean I get that because it's like they don't want military to be fucking sharing shit that's not. I don't know. I mean, TikTok is really just people dancing and doing dumb shit. So
Right.
I don't know. But I mean, it might change. Who knows? I don't know. And they might be right. I don't fucking know. But all I know is like it might be something. Like the whole like political shit with Facebook, where they were like, you influenced the election like a ton, but you guys like through your algorithms or whatever, and that like influenced the election. And maybe they don't want TikTok to become like an influence on our election through a foreign government or some shit. I have no idea, but either way, I just want to watch hood rat shit with my friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So, it's funny because like Instagram has like really become Facebook. I think we might have talked about this last episode, but I don't remember. But it's like Facebook became so political, and I feel like that's why everyone was like, I'm out. And then like Instagram, after the like Blackout Friday or whatever that was, it's like it just became like Facebook overnight. Like instantly everything was like, every other thing was a political statement. And I'm like, oh God, TikTok. Like,
Did you go into TikTok that day then?
No, I've been on TikTok because I actually really enjoy it.
But I mean, like that day you were just like, okay, nothing left for me. Just go to
100%.
TikTok.
I mean, TikTok is like my main social media right now.
Is it really?
I don't even like
funny.
post on it much.
Yeah.
But what it is it's just like, it's fun to be on there. Like it's silly and like not so political. So it's like, this is nice. Maybe I'll go back into MySpace soon or some shit.
Where else would you find gems like the Carol Baskin song?
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know.
Who do you follow on there? Just like random things? Or do you find...
This is the guy I love. I forget what his fucking name is, but he's like... He's just like a super positive guy. He's like this young black kid, and he's just like, he'll take a bite out of fruit. He's like, you taste like you supposed to taste. And I just like love it so much. And I mean, even during all like the drama, he was like, times are really hard right now. Everyone's really like angry and stuff. He's like, but you came here to smile. He's like, so let's see that smile. He's like, there it is. And I just like, I don't know. To me, it's just like, fucking great. Let me see if I could, I don't know. Fuck, this is going to be loud. Let me see if I could find him so I could point everyone his direction. Cause he's there he is. Young Gripper.
Perfect name too.
But I sent him to MJ, and MJ's like, I don't get it. I'm like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just like lighthearted humor. You know what I mean? It's
right.
Like, there's no like deep, dark message or like, whatever. He's not trying to like talk about Epstein or some shit. It's just like eating fruit and liking it. And I'm like, fuck yeah, that's what I need to, that's what I'm fucking with right now.
Did Plague show you that one dude? He's like that gay Mexican guy who makes hot dogs, the street hot dogs.
Maybe.
That woo woo woo. I don't know if
doesn't sound familiar.
Really? Okay. Maybe he thought it was too silly for you.
But yeah, definitely check out Young Group if you got a TikTok out there.
I'm sure there's YouTube compilations, right? Too.
Maybe Young Gripper.
I was just checking. Why is that?
I wonder if I could send you some. I don't know how I would send it to you. I should have figured it out before. But yeah, he's just like, he makes like songs and dances and stuff. But my favorite things are like him going like, "Let me see that smile," or like eating fruit. Those are.
It's not Mr. Hotspot, right? No.
It's Young Gripper. It's like GG, so it's like Young.
Oh.
And then like
YUNGG.
Yeah, YUNGG Ripper.
Oh, Ripper. Okay.
Yeah, but
I thought you were saying Gripper.
It is because it's like Young Gripper because it's double G, so it's like Young Gripper. I assume.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah, he's not on YouTube yet.
He's too good for YouTube.
Yeah.
He's waiting for that deal.
Yeah, exactly.
But
just looking to get that Rogan money.
Let me see if I could find something good. That'll.
If you want to, you could just plug in the.
Ooh, woo. Yes, good. Y'all remember the juice boxes from school? Ooh, woo. Yes, good.
And that's what I'm fucking with now.
Act like you became cute overnight. You got a piece of that from your mother. From your meemaw.
And that's what I'm listening to now. That's what I'm watching. That's my content I'm consuming right now.
Sam Harris or
Yeah, that and Sam Harris. But yeah, I don't know how we got into this.
just checking out of all the
The social media.
yeah.
God, I know it's so
All the
fucking
political
exhausting
shit.
right now. Man. To be honest, it's like every fucking conversation you have with everyone seems to be goddamn depressing and fucking exhausting and all this, you know.
That's why I follow a bunch of landscape painters. We're just out painting.
But yeah, maybe that's the move. I have no idea. But yeah, it's exhausting. Goddamn, Instagram was a it's like the moment where Robert De Niro. And
Yeah,
Samuel
that's
Jackson,
exactly what I was thinking. Wonder that's on here.
what the fuck happened to you, man? You used to be so beautiful.
Yeah.
It sucks too because it's like, I mean, it's been sucking for a while for other reasons, like the whole like, what is it when shit's not in order?
What the fuck happened to you, man? Your ass used to be beautiful.
I love that line.
I know.
It's so good. God.
I haven't seen that in a while. I need to watch that again.
Jackie Brown, for anyone wondering.
Yeah.
Go check it out. Yeah, Quentin Tarantino. Fucking. I saw people coming after him on Reddit. I was like, chill.
About over what?
All the shit people are coming after people for nowadays.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
I mean, he's no stranger to people coming after him.
No, I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, yeah. So yeah. But yeah, you seen any good movie? You watch Hamilton?
Hamilton? Is it on like
Disney Plus?
Oh, okay. I don't have Disney Plus.
I don't either. And I didn't download it illegally, people. Like you might have assumed. MJ's coworker gave us her password.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'll need to hit up Vanessa for that then.
yeah, the MJ loved that shit. It was cool, but MJ was like, she was literally crying like the entire time.
Really? Like, is it emotional at all? Like in a real way, or is it?
Well, like MJ, she has like this weird thing that happens to her when like a specific song hits her.
Mm-hmm.
So like, no matter what, if you play Somewhere Over the Rainbow around here, she'll cry.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I guess this has happened since she was a baby. Like when she was a baby, they would play that song and she would start crying.
Huh.
Even though she didn't understand the words. And there's like a ton of music that does this to her. And Alexander Hamilton was just packed with it, I guess. Because, I mean, there is something about it where it's like, it's so like emotionally driven, like, especially in I feel like the very beginning where like, and like, it just like, it's so, I don't know, like it's like the orchestra behind it and everything. It's like very powerful.
Okay.
How it hits you.
Mm-hmm.
So like there is like, I feel like it does like stir up some kind of like, holy shit. Like you get like, I don't know, overwhelmed by like all of it at once.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see like people would get emotional by that.
Okay.
But there's an ice box where my heart used to be. So,
Yeah.
so like for me, it was like, wow, this is really powerful, or like this is really like intense. But for MJ, it was like nonstop crying, and now she like plays the songs nonstop, and I'm like, gosh, relax.
God, MJ, welcome to 2017.
I know. But yeah, it was good. I'm not a musical fan, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was all right.
Right.
I liked it.
God, I can't remember the last thing I watched, actually. I think Mandalorian was the last thing, and that was like, we talked about that a month ago.
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I still have to watch that shit.
Okay. Well, it's on Disney Plus.
What have you been doing? Like what? Okay, so first of all, we already know you don't watch shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know why the fuck I was asking that question.
Yeah.
It's a goddamn waste of time. It's like, yeah, watch it. And I'm okay. Saw that coming. I mean, are you Amish? Is this what's going on? Like, are you secretly like you come here and you're like put on these magical headphones and you're talking to this black sponge and you're like, the world is magical.
I've actually just really gotten into my yoga practice. It's way more than I've let on.
Yeah, you got a little mini cult going on now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what? I mean, I assume. Do you listen to a shitload of music or something, or?
Not a shitload. I mean, I would say I'd listen to a lot more podcasts than anything.
Oh, podcasts.
Yeah.
Even I because the weird thing for me is like podcasts, and I've realized that like I only listen to like a very small handful now.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Because like I'm not at like my work that I hated, so it was
that
just
makes
like,
sense. Yeah.
Podcast was like a way to not be at work while I was there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like 8 hours of podcast listening every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now I'm like, I don't need that in my life.
Sure.
So I'm like, I listen to like I don't know, a handful of comedy ones,
Mm-hmm.
Sam Harris, and and that's about it. But you, on the other hand, have like you've always listened to podcasts,
Right.
so and the pandemic wasn't too big of a change, I don't think, for you. So
Not really.
so
No.
it makes sense. Nice. So any cool podcast? Any new like?
One recently that I kind of got into was what's it called? This Is Important to Me. It's an interesting concept. So it's this comedian couple. I don't know if you know who Sam Morril is. I think it was on that Keeping Joe podcast that you used to listen to.
Sam Morril. Yeah, yeah.
So him and his girlfriend, who's also a comedian, Taylor Tomlinson, when they went like into quarantine together, because I guess they're living together now, they kept showing each other movies that neither of them had seen before. And she's like 10 years younger than him, so it's like a generational difference. So yeah, they start by like talking about like
and he's 21, right? So she's 10 years younger.
Yeah, exactly. So so
he's a pervert.
she's been showing her old school classics like Justin Bieber and Soldier
like
Boy.
High School Musical.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. I wonder how old Sam Morril is. Like, is he
He's
our
like,
age?
yeah, he's like
Okay.
35 or something like
So
that.
he's showing like Sandlot and things like that, or was he showing?
Well, one of them. Well, he's actually into a lot of like older movies too, but one of them was actually Jackie Brown.
Oh,
And other things like not necessarily movies that you would think, but like movies that are kind of like you think of as like important kind of pop culture movies because they end up being talked about a lot, like Goodfellas for one.
I see. Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw Glenn Ross, but that was one that he
I
showed
don't
too.
know. I've heard people talk about it a lot.
Right, so it's like he tends to show her movies like that, but like he showed her like John Wick and shit too.
Oh,
Yeah,
John Wick. I mean, that's not that old. How old is she?
yeah, she's like 25 or something like that. But
It's probably just not something. She's
yeah,
into or some shit.
yeah, because like he shows her, I mean, she shows him movies that like, I mean, he was around for too, but weren't important to him. Like, what do you call it?
Sleepless in Seattle or some shit, or
13 Going on 30 was one of them.
the Yaya Sisterhood.
Yeah.
That Traveling Pants one. Is that the same thing?
What? Yeah.
Sisterhood of Traveling Pants?
I think so.
Some
I have
shit.
no idea.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I recently watched, I don't know if it was like maybe we were at a hotel and it was playing, or I watched a little bit on like YouTube or something. I just remember I saw it and I was like, holy shit, this was like a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it and it is fucking horrible. Like the acting is miserable. It's like, it looks like something that would be shitty if it was on TV nowadays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But it was like a fucking move. It was like a whole thing that like women were like, this is our fucking ass queen type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't think I've seen the Gary thing.
Oh.
It doesn't look familiar.
It's a really good movie. It's pretty bleak too, but it's a pretty simple concept. I mean, I don't know how many people have heard of it, but
heavy hitters in that movie.
yeah, it's about I think they sell real estate, I want to say, but it's like very sort of macho, masculine type of
like Wolf of Wall Street type shit.
Yeah, but like if Wolf of Wall Street, like if they were all losers, like if no one was really making money and everyone's on the chopping block.
So it's like Wolf of Wall Street and Office Space had a baby?
Kinda. With no humor to
It's
it.
like, where's my stapler? Bitch!
Exactly.
You got something?
I think I actually
Wait for
have
it.
some... I don't think I have it in here anymore, but I think I used to have a Glenn Ross clip in here.
It was probably like, you probably played it and I was like, what's that?
Yeah, maybe. Nah, never mind.
But, well, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought it was a good
Me and
concept
MJ
for a
did the
podcast.
same thing, but
Yeah.
like just in life, we didn't record it.
Right, yeah. You guys could have had a very successful Patreon by now if you record it.
That's true. God damn it, MJ. That's just like a good. I mean, because you wouldn't even need to have like you wouldn't even need to have, like, say like it's him and his girlfriend. Like if they had a guest on, they could just have the guest request a movie he hasn't or they haven't watched, and then they can request a movie or tell him to watch a movie
Right.
that he hasn't watched, and then all of a sudden now you have like infinite fucking episodes.
Right.
Good on you, Sam. I stopped listening after he left.
I guess because he's living in LA now? Something like
really?
that. Yeah.
It's gone bougie.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, other than that, just like other, there's this one that Vanessa and I were listening to called Newcomers. It's these two girls who they're LA comedians too, but they never watched Star Wars, like any part of it at all.
I heard about this.
So yeah, I think. Oh, I heard about it because one of them, Lauren Lapkus, was on Tiger Belly, and she was talking about it there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. And I
Yeah.
listened to it. It was actually pretty entertaining because you go through it. Like, I think at this point they've probably watched more Star Wars than most people have. Because they just went through like most of the entire series. Like they went through all the movies, like all 9 of them, and through a lot of the spin-off series too. So it's like hearing the perspective of people who weren't kids when they first watched all these movies and seeing like, well, that shit doesn't make sense at all to me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
One of the funniest things was that one of their one of the hosts, her favorite character ended up being Jar Jar Binks, like not ironically at all.
It's fucking hilarious. I mean, yeah, that's that. I think I remember the Tiger Belly episode, and she said something like they asked her like what her favorite one was, and she said something. And I was like, what? And then she like said her least favorite, and I was like, what?
Yeah, one of her favorites was actually the episode 8, the one you hate the most.
Which one's that?
The second to last one that they just did.
where the what's her name dies, and then they put her in space.
Yeah,
and she somehow lives.
Yeah.
Oh my god, such shit.
Yeah, that one.
That's one of her favorites.
Yeah.
Oh my god. God damn these people. It's hilarious that I have to remember to only ask you any new podcasts. So at some point they got to fucking, they don't have like an endless amount of like shit to do, right? What do they do?
No, they just finished their first season, so they're moving on to Lord of the Rings in the next one.
Oh, they've never watched Lord of the Rings?
Apparently not, yeah.
I've never watched, did you ever watch the little like Hobbit one?
No.
The Hobbit or whatever?
No. I watched, like as a kid, I watched a little bit of that weird-ass Hobbit cartoon
I don't think
movie.
I watched that ever. I didn't even know The Hobbit was a thing. Like, it's one of those books that like oddly people love. I remember I had a coworker who was like, The Hobbit's my favorite book. I'm like, what? You didn't even seem like you read.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, when I was a kid, I read it like at least like a couple times a year. And you're like, what? And I didn't even know it was a thing. But I guess it was similar to like Catcher in the Rye and like To Kill a Mockingbird. They were like class readings, like.
Oh, okay.
But I guess
It wasn't
not.
class reading for me.
Me neither.
Yeah. It seems like too long of a book to get kids to read.
The Hobbit?
Yeah.
The Hobbit's,
Isn't it like super long?
No, I think it's like super short. It's,
Oh,
It's
okay.
like the same size as like To Kill a Mockingbird or.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Because like the original like the Hobbit book was shorter. Then he made it into like more of a saga. I think.
Did you ever read those two? The Catcher in the Rye and To Kill a Mockingbird?
I read To Kill a Mockingbird. I don't think I ever read Catcher in the Rye.
I read it when I was a kid and I didn't like get it.
Yeah.
I was like, he's an asshole. Now I got to read it. I keep thinking like I should read it back. Maybe now that I'm like older, I'm like, oh yeah, I get it now.
Yeah.
He's kind of because I think it has to do with like, I don't know, a kid trying to like just being a shit kid and figuring shit out. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Did you actually read any of the assigned books that you got in school?
Yeah, those two.
Oh, okay. But like ones that it sounds like you at least like enjoyed fairly those, but like were there what's the one you what's a book you had to read as a kid that you just hated, like a classic?
I wouldn't have read it.
Yeah.
I absolutely wouldn't have. I mean, one of the shit things was like Lord of the Flies.
Oh,
I started reading that and I was like, this book is my shit.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I love this.
That book is fucking
and
good.
then
yeah.
I was reading it, which is like a rare thing for me to
Yeah.
read a book. Like, I mean, when I was younger, and I was telling my brother, and he was like, "Oh yeah, it's a great book. Piggy dies at the end."
Oh, man.
And I remember being like, "Why the fuck would you tell me that?"
Yeah.
And I literally just stopped reading the book at that point. I was like, "Fuck, dude! Like, the fuck is your problem?" I don't know if I've ever read Lord of the Flies all the way through, specifically because my brother, and I still give him shit to this day.
Yeah.
Like, if he's about to like watch something, I'll tell him the end to it if I know it, because and then he'll get mad at me. I'll be like, "Fucking Piggy died."
Yeah.
Fuck you. So yeah, but yeah, I think those are like the three main books I read that were like assigned reading in high school, and
okay.
even then the Lord of the Flies ones I didn't even finish.
Yeah.
So
I remember hating Great Gatsby. Like,
you had to read Great Gatsby?
yeah.
That's Steinbeck, right?
No, it's F. Scott Fitzgerald, who's I'm really not that familiar with any of his other stuff, but that I never liked that story.
Isn't that supposed to be super dense, like super thick
No, it's probably around that same like
size?
around that
I
too.
never read it, so I have no fucking clue.
Yeah. I just found it super boring, and then so when all the movies came out too, I was like, well, I'm not gonna like, if I don't even like the book, then I'm not gonna like the movies very much either.
It is weird because, I mean, I never read the book, but I've watched, I think, two Great Gatsby movies.
The one with Leo.
Yeah, I watched that one, and I remember thinking like it's really like I like how they filmed it, but
Right.
there's something about like the storyline I just don't care about.
Right.
It's like I don't care. I literally don't care.
That's exactly how I felt about it.
And it's like this weird. Yeah, it's just I don't see like why it's so great. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of people that would be like, it's because of this, and it's like a valid reason. I'm like, all right, whatever. Be good first, and then fucking explain why.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate that shit. I remember, you ever watch Mulholland Drive or whatever?
I have not. No.
You know what movie I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's the full name, but like
It is, yeah.
And it's Lynch,
David
right?
Lynch, yeah.
David Lynch's movie. I don't fuck with David Lynch for the most part in general because, to be honest, I just don't like his shit. Like, I don't like that whole, like, oh, it's Uncanny Valley. That's why it's so good. I'm like, all right, fuck off. It's like a excuse for sucking, in my opinion. It's like, I make shitty, like, low-quality movies, but it's because it's, and I'm like, all right, whatever. But, hot take, by the way.
Waiting to dry hot take.
But like the Mulholland Drive movie, I always hated, and then even they're like, oh well, you have to know this, and then it's really good, and then I knew it, and then I rewatched it, and I was like, still don't like this fucking movie. Like, I don't know, it's like something.
What was the thing you have to know?
That it's a dream. Like,
okay.
Like the majority of the movie is a dream or some shit.
Okay.
And you're like, okay, cool. I remember when I was a kid and would write shit like that and think I was a fucking genius. Like, that's not genius material. I remember my high school teacher, he wrote we had to like do this like free writing thing where like he started something and then we would have to write it, like write the rest. Mm-hmm. And then we turned it in. I remember being like, I think it was like a freshman in high school. And I turned it in, and I was like, fuck yeah, like, the guy dies at the end.
Yeah.
And I remember him going like, hey, here's all everyone's grade. By the way, if your character died at the end, I didn't grade you anything above, like, a C. And I remember being like, fuck. It was just like, it's so predictable. You guys all do it. And it was just like this, like, thing of, like, God damn it, like I don't know, like it's like he just pointed out like and it's something you learn as like an artist too, is like, sure, you can see certain things coming from a mile away, or there's something sophomoric about like
right,
certain like things that you like
too much of a trope.
Yeah, you're like, all right, that shit's been overdone because it's so fucking like predictable. It's not even like, I don't even think it's like a cliche thing. It's just like, it's like the happily ever after. It's like, obviously, the fucking rom-coms are going to end in an airport with them kissing. It's like,
right.
You're like, all right, God, this sucks. This fucking sucks. And the Mulholland Drive, like, it's a dream. It's like, okay. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, David Lynch. I mean, people fucking love him though.
I don't know if I've seen. I think the only actual David Lynch movie is like known that I've seen is like the one that people least like of his,
which is
Dune, the version of Dune that he directed. It was like from the early '80s, I want to say.
Is that the one where there's like a warrior guy, like, and there's the big worms? Is that the thing? God, I barely remember those like.
And the big fat guy is the bad guy. Yeah.
I don't remember at all. I don't know. Dave, he reminds me of like the annoying artist guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the
totally.
guy who's like, my shit is hella deep, bro. And you're like, is it though? Like,
yeah.
Like what's so great about it? It's like, but it's just like enough people have ended up believing it or some shit. It's like, he's a genius. And you're like, is he though? I'm like, how?
Yeah, there was a meme that I posted on.
All I'm saying is he's the Pollock of the film world. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Hot take again.
Waiting to dry hot take.
Yeah. He's, I don't know. All the fucking, send all your hate towards me. Yeah, I got to educate myself on David Lynch, you know what I mean? Before I talk. But yeah.
This is like very typically David Lynch. This quote, believe it, he's like being interviewed. He says, believe it or not, primary colors are total fucking bullshit. The interviewer says, elaborate on that. And he says, no.
Exactly. Point made.
Yeah.
Like, explain that. I will not.
Yeah.
I will not. Yeah. That's, that is the like benefits of like art for some people. Like you can hide behind, you can just say something when they're like, "What do you mean?" You're like, think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Think about it, man. That's the opposite of like why I enjoy like scientific method and all that. It's like, It's because you can't just say shit and then like not back it up.
Right.
It's like, well, then prove that. And they're like, okay, I will.
Yeah, exactly. I guess that's probably why I'm more drawn to art that isn't like quite as abstract. Like even the most abstract art, I need to have like some grounding in reality to it.
But it's even like, I mean, I don't mind if someone does abstract, but like if you then try to explain why you do it, and it seems like bullshit to me.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, that's just bullshit. Like, it sounds fancy,
Right.
you know, but it doesn't mean it's true.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh, you the smarty art. You the smarty art.
what did that just say?
You the smarty art. Mm-hmm.
You the smarty art?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't catch that first part. I'm like, smarty art. Smarty art. The Chris Rock, everyone.
Yeah.
He stopped by to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Fucking David Lynch. I don't know. I feel like, God, that's like that whole, I think, culture everyone hates with like the art thing. It's like when there's
Yeah.
a group of people who are like convinced, like, I think like a lot of us as artists, we like look at that shit and we're like, bullshit.
Right.
And then you have that like group of people who are like, it's genius. And you're like, no, it's not.
Yeah, it's a weird type of like gatekeeping
Right.
in a way.
It reminds me of that one podcast. I haven't listened to it in a long time. That Art Attack. Where like
Yeah.
it was Justin Bua and that other lady, and she'd be like, the geniusness behind the strokes of his, and he'd be like, they're not genius. Like,
Yeah.
That's simple shit. And
Right.
But she just has no concept because she's just spouting shit out as if she knows. But it's like, you don't know because you don't know how to create art. So you're putting more value to something that's not actually that skillful or genius, and you think it is because you don't know shit.
Yeah. Yeah, what was weird to me is that in that podcast, how it seemed like Justin was really not into the things that she was saying, but then he'd just be like, oh, but I love what, like, I think you're super smart, and like totally, like,
Yeah. Well, that might be him playing the like
yeah,
that role,
Right,
That
exactly.
role that I also hate, like, the artist that like schmooges
right.
because it's the right person to know or some shit. It's like,
Right.
yeah, fuck off.
That's what, ultimately turned me off to that podcast too.
Yeah, fuck all that. You need people that say dumb shit about shit they don't know, like us. And we support each other through it. It's like David Lynch sucks ass. And then right after that, I'm like, that bitch don't know shit about painting. It's like as if I know anything about directing.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, dumbass bitch. Yeah. My hypocrisy knows no bounds. Tombstone, that's a great movie. Now we're talking great movies.
Did I ever see Tombstone? I don't know if I ever did, actually.
What the fuck is your problem, Sergio?
Just one of those movies, like, I was telling Vanessa this too, like, there are a lot of, like, well, actually, is Tombstone 80s? Or is it early 90s?
Might be early 90s.
Oh, okay. But yeah, there were a lot of, like, 80s movies that just passed me by. Like, there are very few of those, of that era that actually...
passing me by. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. I'm sure I'm probably in that same... I feel like, first of all, that was VHS era. So you were watching the same fucking movies every year. You know what I mean? It's like you might have added like 4 to the collection, but like that shit was on repeat. It's not like today with like Netflix and shit. So it's like, of course, you might not like. I've never seen like most of the Die Hards. I think I've seen like Die Hard 1. Die Hard or Heart?
Die Hard.
Die Hard?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've seen the first one, and that's it. But
Okay.
like that shit to people is like, it's like what I'm saying right now was like like they can't understand it.
Yeah.
What else you got? Have you seen Blade Runner?
I have seen Blade Runner. Yeah, that's a movie I liked.
Yeah, that movie was great.
What version of it did you watch?
I watched
Because there's like 3 or 4.
whatever one the best. You know what I mean? Whatever one makes me the coolest. I watched that one.
Director's cut.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, yeah, I watched the director's cut plus. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There was a version that came out.
Limited edition director's cut.
There was one that came out maybe like 10 or so years ago. That was like the I don't know, definitive version of it.
I watched the longest version. I
think that's probably what it was.
I remember I looked into it and then they were like, "This is the longest version," and I legally downloaded that one. Did you watch the newest one?
Computer, stop all the downloading.
What'd you say?
In the new one, you watched that one?
Yeah. I watched. I don't think I ever watched the original version, the one that, I guess it has, a narration throughout it. I want to say, like, I guess the studio version that first came out.
Yeah.
I guess they like added narration to it, and like Ridley Scott was totally against that. I think it's either that or the other way around.
I can get that though. I feel like sometimes the narrating is so fucking annoying.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a person holding your hand through pretty much anything. Is what the narrating feels like a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you don't need to tell me, just show me. I mean, I don't mind it sometimes. Like
Yeah.
The Sandlot, I think, had some. Or if Morgan Freeman's talking in that silky smooth voice, I'll fuck with.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, I guess because it's supposed to be like a sci-fi noir movie, right? So
Yeah.
So I guess like a lot of those old school like 40s noir movies had narration to it.
Oh, really?
I guess that's what they wanted him to try and be. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what their thought behind it was. But he was like, no, don't fuck with my movie that way.
I thought the newest one was fucking incredible though.
Yeah.
Like the
I
new
thought it
one,
was great. I
I
thought
thought they probably made like a post-apocalyptic type world as beautiful as it's ever been done, like while keeping like it really shitty. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, I know exactly what you mean.
It's like this gorgeous like scenery, but not at all. But it's just how they captured it. It's like the scale of everything in the movie feels so ginormous, and the lighting of it all is like, holy fuck, you guys are fucking awesome. So
Shout out Sid Mead, R.I.P.
is that who did?
He did the concept art for it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
If you see those old like Sid Mead concept paintings,
I remember that.
Yeah. I think that was like a pretty like as far as like concept art to film, like around that era was probably like one of the best representations of that.
Yeah. I think I remember when he died too. It was like the whole like Instagram, you know. Like,
Yeah, that wasn't even that long ago actually.
Yeah.
I think that was this year.
yeah.
Or was it earlier
No.
or later last year?
This year was, I mean, I wouldn't remember if anyone died this year. To be honest.
Yeah,
If you want to be remembered, don't die this year.
for sure.
Yeah, fuck. Where are we on time?
118.
Have we talked about anything?
I don't know.
I don't know if we have anything. Do you have anything to talk about?
There was something that came up around like during the time of when we were talking about all the George Floyd stuff last month. But I don't know if you saw what happened with Arcadia Contemporary. Well, apparently, like around that time, this artist, I think his name is Jace Knight, but he's black, and he was trying to get into Arcadia Contemporary about like 5 years ago or so. And so the guy who's the director there at Arcadia, I think they were actually still in New York, but he sent him a what do you call it? An email response that was kind of fucked up. And I could tell what he was trying to go for, but it's just not gonna come out right.
How do you spell? Is it J like Jay?
Oh, it's a JAS Knight, like a Knights of the Round Table. But yeah, it's in his feed. What he says. Here, I just brought it up here, but it says, Jace, I'll definitely keep you in mind about group shows. Your priority right now should be to find better quality galleries that specialize in African American artists and subject matter. You make your start there, then you slowly transcend to other galleries. Get your foot in the door and kill them. So, that was what Arcadia responded back to him.
Mm-hmm.
And so I totally understand why you would feel a certain way about that.
Right.
Like being like, well, you're not up for the big leagues, but start in the African American galleries.
Mm.
And so, yeah, it created a whole big thing. And Arcadia had a pretty long
rebuttal.
Well, not even rebuttal, just like apology about it, where it's just like, Arcadia's response was, 2 days ago, an unintentionally insensitive and ignorant message I sent 5 years ago to a talented young black artist was brought to my attention. In retrospect, my comments were ill-informed and ignorant, and the recognition of this has given me extraordinary opportunity to think, reflect, and grieve for the insensitivity I displayed. For those of you who know me, the response appears as horrendous and racist. As a gay Jewish man, I thought I was acutely aware of what it was to be hated and marginalized for no valid reason. I always tried to be sensitive to others' feelings. Those aspects of my life, however, could not and will not ever give me the insight necessary to know what it's like to be a person of color. I must work hard to be more aware and more sensitive to that. And so, yeah, he keeps going on about, like, apologies and things.
For sure.
And talking about that. But, yeah, I mean, for me, it seems like he wasn't really intending to come off as racist. I just feel like that gallery world is so, like, there's so little of representation of that around anyway that it's just like, it's almost an automatic response to be like,
right.
Like,
Is there? I'm not even familiar. Is there like actually like very like black specific galleries?
I don't know. I actually don't know. Like, because I just don't like. I would never want to cater to a gallery that's like so specifically one like race.
Yeah. I have no idea, to be honest. I just know the ones I know, and like it's all like every single color in the rainbow,
right?
Except for those green people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, because one thing is like I know that MJ applied to Arcadia Gallery, and I was like, they don't like, you guys aren't a good fit at all.
Yeah.
And she was like, I know, but I don't care, because that's how MJ rolls. And they sent her a very similar kind of message, except for obviously it wasn't black. It was like, hey, like, great work or whatever. You I don't think you're a good fit. You might want to try out these galleries. Like, this might be a better fit for you. And MJ, was like, oh, like in her, like in that communication, she appreciated that a lot, because it was like, it was feedback, but the only thing I just don't know if there's an actual thing called like black galleries. That's the only thing that's like, is a bit weird. Because he does seem like he would be a good fit for Arcadia in a weird way. Do you know what I mean? Like, his style does fit that. So maybe if you would say something like we don't think you're quite there yet, like skill level wise or something like that. Or, I think that's perfectly fine. But I just don't actually know if there's a thing called like a thing that's black galleries. That's how I'm like that's
I really
don't
think there is, and like if there is, that's kind of weird too.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, but I know there's like in San Francisco, there's like the Jewish gallery, right?
Oh, the museum?
Yeah, the museum. Museum.
Well, yeah, the museum's different though. Yeah. There's actually also like the African Diaspora Museum in San Francisco as well. But yeah, it just seemed like it was a weird response, like
Yeah.
it like that initial response back to him, because it's like it almost seems to imply like there's this like other route you're supposed to go down if you're a black artist.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea what they're. I always try to assume positive intention or like, whatever.
Right.
I mean, it definitely doesn't look like the best, not the best look for sure.
For sure.
It's like, because for me, I'm like, Black Gallery, like, is that a thing? Maybe like, what? Where is Arcadia? L.A.
Yeah. They used to be in New York.
New
but
York, yeah.
Mhm.
And maybe 5 years ago they're in New York.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about New York art scene.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there is like very like African centric art galleries there.
There might be. I mean, I feel like maybe there are these places where, because I know that like there are galleries like in LA that like their whole focus is more like Latino, Chicano
Right.
type of art too.
There's art in San Francisco. There's galleries in San Francisco like that too.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was a thing in New York.
Mm-hmm.
This is where like I lack total knowledge when it comes to this context of like, is that a thing in New York? I don't know if this guy's a New York artist, but
I actually don't know either.
because New York has that like they have that very like classical scene out there that I'm not a part of at all. I don't
Sure.
I honestly have no idea how it's been. So I don't know if he's like very specific, if it's like the equivalent of him saying to MJ like, go maybe to Think Space or Spoke Art or something, like go, those are probably a better fit for you.
Right.
But to
I
me,
think that's what his intention was at
right.
least. Yeah.
But to me, that guy's work looks, but I'm also basing what I'm looking at now to who he was 5 years ago.
That's true too.
So
yeah.
like his work now might be very, like a very good fit to Arcadia, where like a 5-year growth is he could be just as good, or like, I would be very surprised if he was just as good 5 years ago, but he could be still a good fit 5 years ago. I have no fucking clue, to be honest. I would have to see his work 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I'd have to know if New York has like a very like strong black gallery scene, and then maybe it's like a thing where like they like look at all these galleries as who's the standout, and like it's like some
Sure.
weird like diversity thing of like, let's get one person from the black galleries and let's get one person from the I don't
Yeah.
fucking know how these people do their shit. Like,
I don't know either, but that's like kind of what is kind of revealing about like that way of thinking is like we're here at the top.
That's kind of like woke thinking in general, right? Diversity. It's like have an equal amount of representation of each person. I mean, it is so it's like, I don't know. In a weird way, it's like I don't know enough details, but yeah, it doesn't look too great when
Yeah.
you see that. You're like, oof.
Yeah.
But I also might be lacking knowledge, or not. Maybe it is like that shit's not a thing, and I'm like, okay, whoa, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
like, or it is, and I'm just like, that's the problem. Is like I don't know if I can commentate on that shit with the knowledge I have. Maybe if there was like more information, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's fucked up. Or maybe, it's like, I don't know. That is the route that a lot of people go. I don't fucking know.
Right.
To be honest.
Yeah, I didn't read that and think like, oh, this guy doesn't like black artists at all. To me, it came off a little bit more like there's so few established artists of color in like that traditional, like that Arcadia contemporary type of art scene, that it seems, I don't know, like almost like like you have to kind of like work your way up there, but like I mean, you have to do that anyway, no matter what, white or any color, like to work up to a gallery of that stature anyway.
Right.
It's just putting it in that context of race makes it like, oh, there's like, it almost makes it seem like people who work in a gallery scene like that already kind of have this view of you being like this from this other type of way.
Sure. Yeah. Maybe. I have no idea. I mean, obviously he's Jewish and black, or not Jewish and black, but Jewish and gay. So
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I would assume that he's probably not like some deep-seated racist person. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, it just looks bad. I mean, that doesn't mean its intention was negative.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so I don't know.
Yeah. I think the intention was to help him out.
Yeah.
It just like, yeah, like you said, it just kind of looks weird.
And I'm like looking at his work, and like there's definitely like he has like some stuff that's definitely not as good as he is now.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's other stuff that's like, I mean, 2017, was it 3 years ago?
I mean, yeah, he's definitely catering toward that market.
Yeah, he's definitely creating work that's, you know, at least going towards like the crowd that Arcadia would
For sure, yeah.
you know, yeah, but I mean, there's definitely, I mean, even 2017, I could see like, I feel like I could see huge growth from then.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at his work from, yeah, like, I guess he didn't really start posting much until relatively recently.
yeah,
But like, there's this painting from 2015 that I could totally see him, like, if not Arcadia Contemporary, like back when John Pence Gallery was still around.
the one with the sheet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that one looked good, but I would also want to like come in on it and see
Mm-hmm.
if it. I mean,
Like, does it hold up, like, in
Yeah.
person? Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
But I mean, yeah, it looks awesome from what I'm seeing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I also just don't know. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, I assume that they're not fucking trying to be racist or are racist or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that, like, I mean, it looks bad, but it's like, so what? I don't understand. When it comes to all this stuff, I don't know what what do you want to happen? I mean, if you want people to like, maybe go like, that is like weird that I would say some shit like that. Maybe I should not fucking say that because I wouldn't tell a white artist to go to a white art gallery or something.
Right,
I don't
yeah,
know. Like, maybe that's like that self-correction
Uh-huh.
of like, oh yeah, that is something I need to fuck up. Like, I need to like go like, oh yeah, that is kind of fucking weird that I would say some shit like that. This goes back to my fucking lack of knowledge. But then, you know, like, other than that, like, I would hope that you're not trying to be like, let's end this gallery because of
Right,
this, or
exactly,
like, or
yeah.
try to like attack them and say like, you fucking racist, which I'm sure they got like
I'm sure they did,
like,
yeah.
a good amount of that, which like, that's the thing I don't like. I don't like fucking people going to it and being like, you fucking racist or whatever. It's like, and this goes back to like, I think like having, you know, hopefully being able to have like this open dialogue with the person that you think has this negative intention. I always think that this is a much better thing to do in private. And then if things reveal itself later while you're trying to have a conversation, then maybe go like, yeah, fuck this person because of these reasons. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, even then, me personally, I'm not going to do some shit like that.
Sure.
Like, you know, I mean, at the same time, I have said fuck people on this podcast.
True.
But, like, this is a very different, like, our podcast is very different than my social media. Because the people that listen to this understand that, like, these are, like, opinions, and I'm not trying to fucking force anyone to go and attack anything. You know, we're just having a conversation.
Sure.
We're, like, for some weird reason, if I were to post something on Instagram saying, you know, whatever, fuck this person because of this reason, I guarantee there's going to be some hatred sent their way. There's like something weird about people reading the text and then implying like, you know, how it's said or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think so. Yeah.
it's like for instance, like even like this, what we're talking about, it's like maybe if they said it over the phone rather than email, if he said, oh, like there's these great black galleries, if you get with them and then like, I work with them a lot, so then like I can follow your career, and once you're at a level that I think is at the standard that we want as far as artwork is concerned, then, you know, we can reach out and start working together. Like, if you had that conversation with him, if he thought at that moment that's racist, I would say, like, well, he just knows that you would be probably a good fit with them, and he would want to, like, follow your career and, like, still keep you kind of in the back of his mind of, like, let's see, because I see potential in this person, but he's just not there yet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
But if you put it in an email, then it can sound however the fuck I want to read it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
It's like, I can be like, why don't you go to the fucking black galleries? And all of a sudden it's like, fuck them. You know what I mean?
You're right, yeah.
It's that, like, it's when you put shit in writing where I get to read it however the fuck I want to read it, which gets a bit tricky. But I'm sure they didn't mean any harm. I mean, in general, I assume most people are trying to fucking be good human beings. You know, I would say 99% of people out there are trying to do the right thing. Maybe it doesn't lead to, like, maybe it doesn't actually mean it leads to the right fucking outcome.
Sure.
But I assume the best, even with the people I disagree with, even like that last fucking rant I had about people snitching. It's like, they're just trying to be good people. I just think they're going about it the wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, even the context that the guy put it, like, why he even, like, reposted that is because they saw, like, Arcadia participated in that Blackout Tuesday thing, so they had the Black Square, too. And he was just like, well, you guys are being kind of hypocrites because here's what you said 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily, that equates to them being hypocrites either.
Right. I mean, even then, it's like, even if they were, right, even if they were racist 5 years ago, if they've changed, isn't that a positive? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
let's say, okay, let's pretend in this pretend analogy that they were fucking racist.
Yeah.
If 5 years ago, if then 5 years from then, they were like, oh, I was a really shitty person at that time. Not saying that they were, but if it's like, and then they've changed their opinion, shouldn't you be like, good on you for, like, realizing your flawed thinking and then changing the way you think? Like, isn't that what we do as humans, is get our ideas tested until we realize we were wrong, and then fucking, you know, changing those opinions?
Isn't the intention of all, like, bringing all this up is to, like, change people's minds to better anyway?
Yeah. I think it's something like, you ever hear that statistic about, like, gay marriage being accepted? And then it's something like around, I think 2012, it, like, jumped from, like, it was like, I don't know, something like 10% of the country was okay with it to, like, like, all of a sudden, like, 2012, it was like 90% of the country, or maybe not 90, but like a huge jump. And it's like, okay, so then if I go, like, if I'm 2012, right, and I've been pro gay marriage, do I get to, like, go and point at everyone in 2011 and be like, you bitches fucking thought this way last year? It's like, yeah, but they changed their mind.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you want. Like, isn't that what you want? Like, isn't your whole, like, idea of, like, this is how this is, and then you go, like, oh, no, it's actually this, and then someone then agrees with you and realizes their flawed thinking.
Sure.
And then what? Then I go, well, but you didn't think that fucking a year ago, you fucking whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. So should I never change my mind then? Should I just stay the fucking human being I was, you know, from the fucking minute I was born or some shit? I don't know.
Yeah.
Which means I was fucking into pacifiers, boob milk, shitting my pants. Like, these are my hobbies. Like, I'm not changing, bro. I don't speak words. I speak baby talk because I don't change as human. Like, that's not what we do. Yeah,
but you do still play with building blocks, right?
Fuck yeah, dude. I get them this many high. Yeah. So I don't know. It's like, you know, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I don't fucking know Arcadia at all. I don't know the East Coast art scene at that time. What it looked like. I don't know this guy's artwork 5 years ago. I have like one picture to reference, but even like
Right.
the 2000, he has some pictures in 2017 that I'm like, oh yeah, well these aren't that great, you know, but maybe they're just studies,
Right.
and they're really quick. I don't fucking know, like, you know, but it's like I think that guy feels a certain way, you know, and I'm sure, you know, I would feel a very similar way if I was fucking in the same predicament. And
Yeah.
someone's like, oh, you should try these brown fucking galleries first and then come see us. I'd be like, fuck you, man.
Right.
But, you know, as like a outside viewer, so I'm not attached to the emotions, I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea how they felt about any of it.
Right.
But, you know, I also don't think he needs to be a Jewish fucking gay dude to prove that he's not racist either. You know, he
Right.
could have been like,
That's true.
I'm fucking white straight dude, but you know, I'm not racist. I don't
Yeah.
know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is some of like, I'm a gay Jewish guy, so this proves it. It's like, I mean, to me, it does help a bit, but it doesn't need to, like, that's not proof. It's just like, it's almost like saying, I get being judged, so.
Right. I think that's what he meant, right?
Right. But you don't need to, I don't need to, you know, live in someone's shoes to fucking understand that they have their own struggles through this life. You know what I mean? Like, I
Sure.
don't need to be into kissing guys to like understand that gay people should have rights that other people have. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't need to experience that to get it.
Yeah.
So like, you don't need to like validate, like, it's not an argument. I mean, I get the purpose. It's like, I'm only saying this because it would suck if he wasn't a gay Jewish dude. You know what I mean? Like, if he was just a straight white guy, then I was like, oh, dig yourself out of this fucking hole now, man. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. But yeah. And that's kind of like just a weird thing I feel like I see going on now. It's like, you can't have an opinion because, you know,
Your struggle isn't real enough. Yeah.
because your skin color or your sex. I'm like, okay. I last time I checked, humans have this thing called empathy. I mean, I haven't lived your struggle, but I can, you know, use abstract thought and, you know, try to like understand as best as I can how to like appreciate what you're saying.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm starting to sound woke as fuck. I need to shut the fuck up.
Real 180 from last time. Huh? No, I'm just
Not
kidding.
at all.
Yeah.
I was
kidding.
mad at fucking people snitching on people. I'm very much exactly where I was last week on all of those opinions.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
last month.
Yeah.
I don't like that shit one bit. I don't give a fuck what, like the whole shit with Colin. I'm still like, fuck what ThinkSpace did. I'm still on that fucking hype. I still am very disappointed with their actions. You know, all that shit. People pointing fingers like a motherfucker. Not cool to me. But yeah, I mean, even with this shit, it's like, I'm sure, even this, I think, has more validity than the other things I talked about last week.
Yeah.
You know, those things were very much assumed negative intent. This one is like, well, there's definitely a fucking thing where he said go to black alleys, and I don't know if that's even a fucking thing. So like, to me, it's like, oof, that's a bit iffy. Like, I mean, but yeah, that's more valid to me than the other shit.
Sure. Yeah.
And leave a negative review, you know, telling me to educate myself if you think otherwise. But yeah. Are we good on time?
We're at 143.
Do we do anything at the end anymore if it's just us?
Not really. Talk about what we watched, but we already did
Been
that.
there, done that. Now it's podcast. Yeah. I feel like someone sent me something like, talk about this. Must have been, I think it was Juan.
Oh, probably.
Topic. And I was like, man.
Oh, speaking of things Juan sent me, I have a real modern art masterpiece of contemporary art.
What's that?
It's a visual, so I don't know how much this will help, but this is performance art taken to the next level in let's see.
What is it called? What is it in case people want to look at what you're saying?
It's Siri.hid is the name of the artist here.
On Instagram?
Yeah. Let me see if it starts here. Okay, here's let me see it.
Oh, these fucking guys. Oh, I did watch that. Yeah, I think that's what he sent me.
Oh, probably. He sent me this shit too. This girl just like
God.
her ladder collapses on her while she's doing like a vertical painting. Well, not, what would you call it? Like,
it's that bullshit fucking like gravity fed bucket shit where they put it to a string and they put a bunch of colors in it and they're like, I'm a fucking genius. And you're like, no, you're not. You're a fucking modern day Pollock, you piece of shit. Like, why do you think girls on Pinterest fall off of ladders? Because they think that, like, they think they're somehow creating something. I can't like in a weird way. Have you seen those guys where they use like the bucket with the trough and like the like rainbow colors? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that could potentially be like a really cool technique if you like went from like just using it like how they use it, like a fucking let everything just be kind of thing, to like, how could I create something like really interesting with this? Like I always, whenever I see that, I'm like, you could do something great with that technique. Like, it has a potential.
Sure.
But it would take a ton of work to, like, develop whatever it is. You know what I mean? A ton of experimenting. And none of them do that shit. They all do the fucking let it go, let it do its fucking thing. And then all of a sudden they're like, and then we put it to a motor and spin it. And you're like, didn't we used to do that shit in the 90s? Like, do you remember that? Like, they would do that, like, little, like, school fairs or something.
The spirograph thing.
Yeah, it's like, how is that all of a sudden now, like,
just because it's big on a canvas now.
I know. God, going back to scale, you know what I mean?
Right, exactly. There you go. It's awe-inspiring.
You don't even need anything. You don't need skill. You just need scale.
Yeah, there you go. Scale,
fucking
not
bumper
skill.
sticker.
Yeah, exactly.
Scale, not skill.
That is a podcast episode title.
But yeah, that shit is annoying as fuck. And I'm happy that lady fell off the ladder. I think she broke her leg, right?
Her arm, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she posted.
I'm happy she broke her arm. Art is pain, you know what I mean? And
Waiting to dry hot take.
Yeah, there we go. There she is.
hopefully she won't do it again. Hopefully she's learned her lesson. Which is funny because she probably got like a huge following from doing that. So I guess the lesson is hurt yourself really bad and videotape it while you're working.
Oh, that's funny. There's a comment. Saw you on Girls Getting Hurt. Well, that's a new follow.
What is that, on Reddit?
No, on Instagram. That was an Instagram comment.
Oh, that's hilarious. Girls getting her. But yeah, I hate all that shit. But yeah, like, for me, if like I look at it sometimes, I'm like, like, there's something that could be done here. Mm-hmm. Like, you can probably create something cool, and I'm sure someone might end up doing that. But like, it just isn't there yet. It's like they really take it to like the lamest level. It's only the part where they use the trough. You know what I'm talking about? And then they let it go, and it fucking comes across. I think that move specifically, I'm like, that could be something. But then they like will use like a fucking like a blowing thing, and they'll blow it around, and it starts looking like that, like spill.
Oh,
whatever that shit's called, like that spill paintings or whatever.
Pouring art. Yeah.
Yeah, pouring art, and then from there they do like the spinny thing, and you're like, okay, this is the worst thing.
Yeah. You're just using gravity. Gravity's the artist here.
Yeah, but you could totally see like where you could, I mean, because you could totally do repetitive marks, right? If you learned it enough. So it's like, all right, well, I can repeat marks. Yeah. I can control the color. Okay, now all of a sudden I'm creating these like large, interesting things.
Yeah, it's like when Jeremy Mann used to do the cityscapes with the big squeegee rollers. Similar, like you can develop a technique out of that.
Yeah. Who wants to be the next Jeremy Mann? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Claiming it.
Dibs, shotgun. But so far it's just been a bunch of like people that are like hobby people that have pretending to be artists. There's some really like douchey guys that do it too. Have you seen them?
I'm sure I
They're
have.
like
Yeah.
the douche art fucks. You're like, all right, cool, man. You're such a genius. Like, you didn't invent this either. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't invent this. You just saw it, and now you're like standing in front of crowds, being like, "Look at me go!"
Painting upside down.
Yeah.
Painting David Bowie upside down or whatever.
God, it's so bad. Yeah, painting David Bowie upside down. It's that person. They're all the same person.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you
Pretty
want to
much.
meet the guy. He's always at the fisherman wharf with a frisbee and some spray cans. It's that guy, but somehow he's convinced Instagram he's a genius, making planets and pyramids.
Right. Paint splattered, everything.
Yeah.
Bonus bandana, probably.
God, yeah, for sure, bandana, for sure, all white bandana. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the more paint he gets on it, the better. Yeah. Well, wait, what was the topic you brought up? Oh, just the girl getting hit.
Or getting hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she deserved it.
I just thought it was taking it to a new level in performance art.
She was talking about the violence happening in the.
This was her statement. Yeah.
What's that?
This was her statement.
Yeah.
Current situation today.
Like it was really painful, but it was nothing like the pain I was talking about.
Yeah. My arm is healing just like I want the world to.
She's using black paint when she did it too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, not a coincidence.
Yep, exactly. Black and white tension. Yeah.
I want her to submit to Arcadia and get in. You're just what we're looking for.
Right.
If that happened, then my suspicious hippo eyes would like be on
exactly.
full fucking blast. I'd be like, okay. But yeah, I don't know. By the way, does Arcadia like? I don't know all the artists they work with. Are they all just like some pale facers?
I don't think so, actually. I think they've. I mean, judging by the names of people on there, really is the only thing. But
Watch it.
yeah, controversy.
But yeah, I don't know too much. I don't know too much about any of that shit. To be honest, I mean, like, as far as like, I mean, I like Arcadia Gallery, but you know what I mean. Like, the more I'm like in charge of my own career, the more I'm like, okay, like, work with a gallery if you like them. If not, fuck them. Like, don't. I mean, to be honest, like, what's the dude's name? Ja?
JAS.
Isn't that usually Ja?
Is
I
it?
don't know. I think so. But
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I thought maybe it's like short for Jason or something. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. It's like, dude, just figure out your own shit. You know what I mean? Like, like you don't need to fucking get. I mean, maybe he's trying to go that museum route. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it seems like it. It seems like he's.
Don't waste your time. Just fucking make that money.
There you go.
And then you won't get emails that you're mad about. You'll just fucking be self-sufficient.
Well, yeah, it's like what you're saying. Like, the more galleries push people away, the less relevant they'll be.
It's also like the more you take control over your own art, the more freeing your voice is as an artist. The less you have to think about a gallery and if you're a good fit for them. And then, like, the less that'll influence you. The more you're just like, I'm just going to create whatever the fuck I want to create. Because I think it's cool as shit.
Right.
Rather than letting a gallery influence how you should create because you want to make sure they're happy with your work or whatever. It's like, you don't have to do that if you're self-sufficient. You know, just create whatever the fuck you want to create. And then no matter what, the gallery has to sell it to people. So, like, if you can sell it to people, that's the only group that you really, you know, have some sort of, like, that might have some sort of influence on you.
Right.
It's like, why add a gallery on top of that? Especially a gallery if they want to, you know, end careers. Wink, wink. By the way, they like my mural shit
Oh, how funny.
that someone else posts. They like it a lot. Oh, but yeah, by the way, they blocked me. I didn't even mention that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, they blocked me before we even recorded, before the episode even recorded or dropped last time. They blocked me. I mean, they didn't block me before the episode recorded. I was still able to see their shit, but then like I think a day or two later, I like looked at their page and I was like, oh, I can't see it anymore. That's hilarious, because it was like something like because I commented like what they're doing to you is a shame to Colin.
Right.
That they were like, we're not, we don't support anyone that's
Caught that
that's
shrapnel.
not on our side. All right.
Yeah.
Super open-minded, bro. I like it a lot.
I'm doing sound clips on the fly here.
But yeah, that was a fun little thing. That's why I mentioned that they like my mural stuff.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
I know. Yeah. So good times.
Yeah.
Are we done?
Yeah.
Shit. Well, hopefully you guys weren't expecting round 2 of the chaos that was last episode, because this was definitely not that.
No.
But we're back. We're recording. And we'll see you next time. Stay safe out there, folks, and keep your sanity.
Yeah. Stretch. Remember to do your yoga.
Breathing exercise, meditation. We're totally becoming fucking hippies. All right. This has been Wait and Dry. If you're still listening, fuck off.
Waiting to dry. Controversy Kings.